You know, we're always told we live in this age of incredible progress. Our tech is faster, smarter, more advanced than anything in history. But what if all that progress has come at a huge cost? What if in our mad dash for efficiency and convenience, we've actually forgotten how to make things that last?
Okay, just look at this. It says it all, right? On the left, you've got a modern leather jacket. You'd be lucky to get 3 years out of it. On the right, that's a medieval leather boot that was dug out of the ground after 800 years, and it's still flexible, still intact. This isn't just a one-off. This is a symptom of a much, much bigger problem that we really need to get into.
And that brings us to this really weird paradox of our time. I mean, we have literal supercomputers in our pockets, but our homes are so fragile that a simple power outage can make them dangerously cold in just a few hours. We have all this advanced chemistry, but our products seem designed to fail. And our amazing industrial food system, well, it's making bread that can actually make us sick. How did we get here?
So let's start with the most basic thing: shelter. You'd probably assume that a brand new, heavily insulated house would be way better in the cold than some old medieval log cabin. But, well, you might be surprised. Our ancestors understood a fundamental principle of physics that we've pretty much completely forgotten. Get this. This quote just blows my mind. We're so obsessed with packing our walls with insulation, but we build these leaky boxes. The average new home leaks as much air as if there were a 3-foot by 3-foot hole just sitting in the middle of your wall. So your heater isn't just fighting the cold outside, it's fighting a giant, invisible, open window 24/7.
So what was the medieval secret? It wasn't insulation as we think of it. It was thermal mass. Think of it like this. Modern insulation is like a thin blanket. It slows down heat from escaping, sure, but it doesn't hold any heat itself. The dense materials our ancestors used, thick stone, massive logs, they acted like a thermal battery. They'd soak up heat from the fireplace all day and then slowly radiate it back out all night long. And this experiment just shows the difference perfectly. Take a look. Researchers heated up a modern prefab house and a medieval-style log cabin to a cozy 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Then they cut the heat. After just 48 hours, the modern house had plunged to a dangerous 36 degrees. The medieval cabin? It was still a totally livable 54 degrees.
Yeah, that's the number that matters. 54 degrees. After 2 full days with zero heat, that log cabin was still at a survivable temperature because its thermal battery was still working. The modern house, on the other hand, was a cold trap, completely helpless without a constant flow of energy. I mean, this isn't just about being comfortable, it's about being resilient.
All right, next up, crafting for generations. This whole philosophy wasn't just about buildings. It was woven into how they made everything. They weren't crafting for next quarter's profits. They were crafting things for their grandkids to use. So let's go back to that 800-year-old boot for a second. The secret to why it lasted so long is right here. Modern leather tanning is basically a 24-hour chemical assault on the material that actually damages it. The medieval way, a slow 18-month-long bath in natural tannins from things like oak bark. They understood that time wasn't the enemy. Time was the secret ingredient to build incredible strength at a molecular level.
And they were basically master chemists, using nature's own lab. They weren't just throwing hides in a vat. They had this complex recipe. They used oak for strength, chestnut for flexibility. Then they'd slowly work in things like birch tar and animal fats to waterproof it from the inside out. It was a material that literally got better with age.
And we see the exact same thing with wood. Today, the solution is to pressure treat it, which means pumping it full of toxic chemicals like copper and arsenic that eventually just leach out into the soil. The medieval method? They just soak the wood in boiled linseed oil. That natural oil soaks deep into the fibers and hardens, making the wood water repellent but still able to breathe. It lasts for decades. No toxins. It's just brilliant, simple physics.
Okay, finally, let's talk about what we eat. For thousands of years, bread was the staff of life. It fueled entire civilizations. But today, for millions of us, it's a source of bloating, inflammation, and fatigue. So what happened? Well, the problem isn't the bread. It's what we've done to the bread. I mean, this slide says it all. On the right, flour, water, salt. That's it. The stuff that built empires. On the left, a modern loaf of bread. It's a chemical cocktail designed for an infinite shelf life, not for human life. It even has azocarbonamide in it. That's a chemical they also use to make yoga mats more foamy. You can't make this stuff up.
But the problem actually starts way before the factory. The wheat itself, the plant, has been changed so fundamentally.
We've created entirely new gluten proteins that our digestive systems have zero evolutionary experience with. So for a lot of people, when their body reacts badly, it's not a sensitivity. It's a completely logical immune response to a substance it literally sees as a foreign invader.
Just look at the genetics here. Ancient wheat, like inkhorn, had 14 chromosomes. The wheat we use for bread today has 42. We tripled its genetic complexity. And we didn't do it to make it more nutritious. We did it for one reason: yield. To get bigger crops and fluffier bread. And it came at a huge cost to our ability to actually digest it.
But even with the old wheat, medieval bakers had another secret weapon: time. They used a slow fermentation process, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. This gave natural yeasts and bacteria time to basically pre-digest the grain for us, breaking down those tough gluten proteins and neutralizing other compounds that block our bodies from absorbing minerals. Today's 3-hour industrial process just skips that essential step entirely.
And it's the same story with so many other foods, like honey. What used to be a medicinal superfood packed with hundreds of complex compounds and enzymes is now often heated and filtered so much that it's basically just sugar syrup. The process strips out everything that made it special, all so it looks perfectly clear and never crystallizes on the grocery store shelf.
So what's the big takeaway here? Is it that we should abandon all progress and go back to the past? No, of course not. It's about recognizing that our ancestors had this deep, hard-won, practical wisdom that we've just tossed aside. It's about seeing if we can reclaim some of those principles to build a stronger, more resilient future.
These are the core ideas, right? Building for generations, not just for the next financial quarter. Working with nature's built-in chemistry and physics, instead of trying to fight against it with brute force. Choosing resilience, the ability to handle a shock, over the fragile convenience of systems that need everything to work perfectly all the time. And maybe the biggest one, relearning to value patience and to see time as a crucial ingredient in anything worth making.
So that's really the question I want to leave you with. As we keep chasing the next big innovation, the next shortcut, what are we losing in the trade? The evidence really suggests we've given up durability, health, and resilience for convenience. Maybe the most innovative thing we could do right now is to just pause, look back, and try to relearn some of the wisdom we forgot.